first.
All right, we will conclude the South Carolina contingency with quarterback Jake Bentley. Again, we'll take question and answers. If you'll raise your hand, we'll get a microphone to you. Start down here on the front right.
Afternoon, Jake.
What's going on?
What's with the camera?
I think it's magic. Justin got some magic thing going on. I don't know. I guess y'all just make sure you watch the video after all this. Justin's got a crazy idea, so I think it's gonna be pretty cool.
All right, well, the talk all summer has been about the new up-tempo offense. Will has said that you prefer to play a little faster. How have you adjusted to it? How good are you feeling running all the preliminary routes before camp starts?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of the best things that happened to me as far as my college career. I think it allowed me to kind of slow down my mind and the fact that I'm not overthinking anything. You know, I'm just focused on what I have to do that play because you don't have time to think about it so much when you're going that fast. But definitely, it's been different for us, and there's been some bumps in the road when you're going over in it. But I think it's going to be real big for us, and the guys love it. The guys know the advantage it gives us over the defense.
We'll go over here to the left side on the front row.
What are the main changes you've seen under Coach Brian McClendon, and then what improvements have you seen as a result of said changes?
Yeah, he's just very aggressive. It's a very aggressive mindset, which I love, which the guys love. You know, he wants to score as many points as he can every single game. And the guys have really bought into that. And I think they understand that, you know, any play can be a touchdown. And I think the biggest change I've seen when a guy just has, you know, maybe a vertical that he thinks he's just, you know, trying to clear out the defense, but he can really be a play to go score. Because if he sees one-on-one, he wants me to throw it. So.
Go up here standing on the right side.
Hey, Jake, can you talk about how difficult it was not having Deebo last year, seeing that injury, maybe what you saw him have to go through last year, and kind of the reverse of that going into this year, how happy he is now to be back on the field?
Well, I think that, you know, it not only, you know, made our offense kind of take a hit confidence-wise, but it kind of made our whole team. When you got a guy like that who you know can make, you know, a game change with one play, and to not be out there, I think took a toll on us a little bit. But having him back out there, you can see the guys' just confidence in him and what he's able to do. And not only he's a great player, he's a great teammate as well. He's a very good teammate and a very selfless guy that wants the best for the team.
Go to the left side on the front row, right here on the aisle.
Josh Hybris, Birds and Feathers. Jake, you talked about the quarterbacks in this conference, some of the best in the country. You could argue maybe the top 6 or 7 or, you know, in the top 15, 20 in the country. Where do you think you rank among the echelon of the SEC quarterbacks, and just what do you think about the group overall?
Yeah, I think the group overall is just a great group of guys that, you know, really, you know, I think I heard earlier Coach Mason said it from Vandy that, you know, the defenses are making the quarterbacks better. And I 100% agree that when you play in a league with such great defenses, the quarterbacks have to be good. I mean, the quarterbacks have to be able to step their game up and to be able to, you know, dissect the blitz coming from the great defensive coordinators in our league. So I definitely think that the quarterback play in SEC has been getting better because the defenses have been getting better.
We'll go back here to the right side, standing in the back.
You talked about Deebo, but do you think he's the best receiver in the SEC? And then what's your favorite part of working with him?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that, you know, he's, you know, very talented. You know, obviously I'm going to say my receiver's the best. But I think our receiving core is the best. I mean, I think, you know, it's just that's the type of attitude you got to have as a quarterback and receivers. I mean, if you don't think that, then I don't know why you're out there. But just having him just does so much for offense. He's a guy you can throw a screen pass to him, and he takes it for a touchdown. So, you know, having him back's great. But I definitely think that Brian Edwards doesn't get the credit that he deserves either. I think that he's one of the most talented receivers in the country as well. When you look at what he's done and how he's led our receiving core without Deebo being out there and making plays time and time again for us in big games.
We'll go to the camera position on the left side, front row.
Jake, Deebo was just telling us, once he got hurt, you continued to check in on him, make sure he was doing all right, even though he wasn't going to help you in the next game or the next 3 games, the next 5 games. Why was it important for you to continue to check in on him as he was going through this difficult process?
Well, I think it's important because, you know, our relationship isn't going to end when I stop throwing passes to him. You know, I mean, I think that's what Coach Muschamp preaches all the time, that this game's about, you know, building lifelong relationships. And I think that, and I truly believe that, you know, me and Deebo are going to be friends forever. I mean, I know that, you know, may sound like, you know, kind of, or whatever, but I really do. I mean, it's relationships that you build and just they stay with you, you know. And just checking in on him just every day because, you know, I've been through some injuries myself, so you know what he's going through. And just trying to keep him positive, and I just love his attitude through the whole thing. He's really stayed positive, and he's going to help our team.
Well, over here to the right side, third row in the middle.
You guys had a really good season last year, but how exactly do you take this team to the next level by beating Georgia and Clemson?
You know, I really just think it's going to be just about mindset. I think when you look at it, this team, more than the past years, has had the right mindset, or has the right mindset now. When you look at it, I think everyone's bought into the culture that Coach Muschamp has developed here at South Carolina, and really just bought into what we have to do. And I think it's going to start with just having a great training camp this year, coming out with the right mindset, and not the mindset that I'm tired or I'm sore, but with the mindset that this is an opportunity to get better.
We'll go to the camera platform on the left side.
Jake, Deebo is a man of few words when it comes with us, but what is he like when he's not in front of the media? And the other question is, what is his leadership role? How does he handle that situation? How vocal is he with some of these guys that we might not see?
Oh, he's definitely a jokester. I mean, the whole way on the plane, he was messing with DJ because DJ was sweating and nervous about flying, so he was taking videos of him. So he's just a funny guy and just a great guy to be around. And then as far as leadership, just seeing how he's been able to you know, pour himself into a guy like Shi Smith, and a guy that Deebo knows is going to have to be big for us. And Deebo's been able to use his experience of football into him and to teach him a lot. I think Shi will tell you the same thing, that he owes a lot of his success to Deebo and what he's been able to teach him.
We'll go to the right side, camera platform right in the middle.
Jake, you were sort of thrown in the deep end as a freshman and should have been still in high school. What are things that worked for you at Opelika that still work for you today getting ready, and where do you think you've grown the most as a quarterback now in the SEC?
Yeah. I definitely think Coach Blackman at Opelika definitely did a great job with our team and with me of preparing us for college and how it works in preparation, and making sure we're watching film and what to look for. So I think in that aspect I use a lot of the same, you know, preparation techniques, if you will, of just preparing, and then just got to bring it each and every week. And I know one thing that doesn't work, I can't outrun anyone like I did at Opelika. I used to be a little bit faster than guys I was playing against, but in the SEC, you're not really getting away from many linebackers. Well, I'm not. Some people might, but I'm not the fastest guy, so, yeah.
We'll go to the left side over here on the front row of the camera platform.
Jake, when you look back at last year and look ahead to this year, you know you're going to be judged a little bit on how you do against Georgia, Florida, Clemson. Those 3 games last year, you didn't play very well. 2 touchdowns, I think 7 interceptions. When you look back at the game film, why do you think you're going to have more success this year against those elite level teams?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a learning experience. You know, I think it's a deal where you learn from it and you grow from it. I mean, you can't, you know, change the past, but you definitely can learn from it and just build on it from there. And I think just find a way to win a game. And I could care less if I throw 4 interceptions as long as we win the game. That's all I really care about. So we got to find ways to win those games.
We'll go to the camera platform back here in the far right.
Hey, Jake.
Top.
Back here. Hey, having Georgia week 2, SEC opener for you guys, feels like they're kind of the measuring stick for the division, at least for you guys. Do you feel like you're ready to take on that challenge that early in the season?
Well, I think it starts with having a great training camp, first of all, and getting ready. But I definitely think that we got to focus our attention on week 1, and that's Coastal, and preparing to play them first before we even look at Georgia. And I think that's going to stem from our leadership on our team and keeping our guys, you know, grounded and really just focused on one game at a time.
Go down here to the front row on the right side.
Jake, the statistic of wins by a quarterback, you know, you may start a game and you may not finish it, but if the team wins, you'll get credit for that. Do you like that stat? Do you think it's fair or maybe think it's unfair?
Well, I mean, I just think if you're going to do that for a quarterback, you should do it for every single other person that's on the field too. Because I mean, we're all out there together. You know, I know a lot of people give a quarterback a lot of praise, but there's a lot of the offensive line never gets praise. You know what I mean? They never ever get, you know, put in the media for wins. But, you know, take a guy like Allen Knott who started tons of games. You know, his win total doesn't get put up there. But I just like to be judged on the team, and the team has a lot of wins, and that's fine. I try not to look into much just personal stuff like that.
Go to the camera platform on the left side. No? We'll go down here, second row.
What are your thoughts on Nick Harvey and JT being the few weeks you've been around them and
Yeah.
maybe throwing against them in on-field skill work?
Yeah, they're really impressive. They're really guys that you can tell have played a lot of football. You can tell that they're experienced guys who don't make a lot of mistakes, and just intelligent guys. I mean, they've been able to come in here and really, you know, so far they haven't really had much meeting time with the coaches because it's just really all player ran. But they've picked up on the defense from TJ and them and been able to learn it. So just kind of really impressed with them so far.
Go back here to the far right back row, camera platform.
Jake over here. Jake.
Oh, back right. My bad. Left and right. You know what I mean?
Good. I'm just curious, how much has maybe the future been in your mind as far as the NFL draft? Is there a certain level of success you feel like you have this year where you can say, hey, I think I can, you know, compete at the next level if you do well against the Georgias, the Floridas, and the Clemsons in the world? What would be a successful year in your mind to say, hey, I think I'm ready for the next level?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really try to look at that. And the one thing that Coach Muschamp always preaches is to be where your feet are. And that just means, you know, wherever you're at, put all your focus and attention on that. And so I really just not trying to focus on anything, you know, next level at all, and really just trying to do whatever I can to win games for our team this year.
Go back here to the left side, camera platform.
Jake, I know this won't affect you, but I'm kind of interested to hear what you have to say. I know your situation was different freshman year, but there's a new redshirt rule that allows the players to be able to play a little bit more, get that experience. How important do you think that is as a player, especially as a quarterback, whether it's getting that garbage time towards the end or maybe at the beginning of the season when you're playing competition that might not be, you know, as high as the SEC?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very important to get as many guys reps as you can. And I think, you know, that first time getting in is the most nerve-wracking and most things started beeping, kind of scared me. Just the most nerve-wracking thing that, you know, kind of comes with playing college football. So if you can get more guys experience in the game, I think it's going to be huge for them. And just being able to play and redshirt, I think it's just really good.
Go over here to the right side, standing in the back.
Jake, obviously there was a huge progression with you from year one to year two. I'm wondering where your game goes from year 2 to 3 now. What are you focused on in this offseason to get better as a quarterback?
Well, one thing that, you know, when Coach Warner got in here, we kind of sat down and just went over everything that, you know, I thought that I needed to work on and what he thought. And it kind of just boiled down to just cleaning up some stuff, footwork-wise, and just accuracy, and just being able to just hit the big play when we need it. I think, and his thing is just you got to get that down during the summer. You're not going to be able to just go out there on game day and be able to be able to be, you know, connected as well as you need to. So we've been really, you know, grinding this summer in our throwing sessions, and just really trying to get that timing down and being ready to go.
We'll go standing back here on the left side.
Jake, what is your comfort level playing in the SEC now that you've got some time? Or do you ever really get comfortable playing in this conference?
You know, I think things slow down for you, for sure. But I definitely think that you never get super comfortable, because that's when bad things happen. When you get complacent and when you feel like, you know, you've made it, that's when you start to fall off and start to get beat. I mean, you look at coordinators like, you know, Coach Muschamp or, you know, Coach Smart, and they're learning too. I mean, they're coming up with new stuff too. So there's going to be a new blitz that they run or something different that they did from last year. So you're continuously trying to learn and just trying to learn and see how defenses are playing you and what they're trying to do.
Go over here to the front row on the right side.
Jake, I know that Hayden was, you know, kind of the perfect guy, especially considering he was older, but Jake August does seem to be kind of that same body type, great hands. Do you see him as a really capable replacement for Hayden?
I do. And, you know, Jake's Jake's worked his tail off this offseason. You know, I think that I think in his mind, and one thing that I'm really proud of him, and he's not trying to be Hayden. You know, he knows he's not Hayden. He doesn't want to be Hayden. He wants to be Jacob August, and I think that's going to do so much for him. And I think he knows that he has to go in there and do his job day in and day out. And I think Casey Crosby's there too. Sure-handed guy as well. That's going to do a lot for us this year.
All right, got time for a couple more. We'll go back standing in the back on the right.
Jake, I don't know if you saw this, but I believe it was yesterday that Larry Fedora came out, UNC's head coach, and he said that with all of these new rules, especially the kickoff rule, they're ruining the game of football. I'm wondering what your stance on that is, and he also said something pretty interesting. He said that he didn't think that football really had anything to do with people developing CTE. Don't know if you had a take on that.
I don't really know about that, but I know if Deebo Samuel's back there, he's not fair catching anything. So, you know, I don't know how much we'll utilize that rule of the whole fair catch thing. Isn't that what it is? Fair catch inside the 20 or something like that? Yeah, I don't think Deebo is going to be doing much of that. But as far as the whole concussion thing, I mean, it's, you know, I really don't have a stance on it. I know it's, you know, I think where, you know, it's growing, and as more people, really intelligent people, more intelligent than me, study it, we'll know more when they figure it out.
Go over here to the second row, right in the middle on the left side.
Hey, Jake, I know that you already touched on this just a little bit, but I wanted to ask, even though you were just there for one season, what was your experience like at Opelika High, and how did the coaching staff and everybody at the Opelika High football team really help you transition into a big league SEC quarterback?
Yeah. You know, like I said, Coach Blackman really just prepared me a lot for, you know, college. And then it's just the whole community of Opelika, just really I owe a lot to them. Kind of just accepting me when I went down there, and just, you know, kind of growing me and shaping me into who I am today. Just a lot of great people down there, but it's a great program full of a lot of great players. You know, Stephen Roberts, you know, he's a great player too. So just a lot of guys that came out there and do a lot of big things.
Thanks, Jake.
Thank you.
There's a couple of reminders before we get out of here.